often were you actually in the Ranger suit, on set, in, I guess, Mighty Morphin or any of the other series?
Probably about 10% of the time.
Okay.
You know, most of it's Japanese footage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, about 10% of the time.
Okay.
How did you get into...
Down today, guys. Normally I got a lot of energy.
How did you get into doing MMA?
Been doing karate since I was 4. Been fighting since I was 12, and after the show I was able to do what I wanted. Tattoos, fight, skydive, everything I couldn't do on the show. So I was able to do whatever I wanted, So always loved it.
So I'm gonna take it as karate. Would karate be your base style, or what styles have you trained?
American karate is my base style.
Okay.
Then I cross-trained in jiu-jitsu and wrestling to add to the MMA, because you need those both. Yeah. So.
Of course. What were some of your more notable fights?
Well, just kind of getting into it. I mean, I like fighting the Mashitati in Las Vegas. The guy I fought was when he was in charge of all the Canadian Thai fighters. He had probably about 80 fights I had done, so that was pretty interesting.
What was the transition like from doing acting on TV to the MMA fighter?
I mean, practicing. I've always been in martial arts, so the transition for me was really easy. Just like it's like doing your job here and then going home and working with your kids. You don't think about it; it's just easy.
Just happens.
Just, yeah. So. You're just so quiet.
Okay, so now, if everyone at this con decided to come at you at once, how many could you take before you got bored? And how many could you take before you got bored at the top of your game?
I'd probably say you couldn't get too many fans. You have to really protect their fans. So
you gotta go
I would say first. One black belt told me, he says, my black belts can kick your black belt's butt. And I was young, I was on the fence. And no, they don't. No, he says, yes. He says, how many black belts do you have? I said, I don't know, about 5. He says, I have 1,000. And he's like, so all my black belts can kick 5 of your black belt's butt. And I was like, yeah, okay. Got your point. Strength in numbers.
Would you say it's more difficult to do the stunt fighting or actual MMA fighting?
Both pretty easy now. When I first started with stunt fighting, trying to pull punches, smile, not hitting the head. We have a lot of good stuff on the show that was head hits, but we couldn't use it. Pretty bummed out, but it was hard doing that in the beginning, and then pulling my punches and all that stuff. And then again, it just became easy. I do martial arts, so we do forms, so you have to treat the fight scenes as like katas and forms. So it's almost just an exercise that you do. And it takes really good accuracy to have. It's harder to have good accuracy not to punch someone than it is to actually punch someone. It's harder to kick a cigarette out of a mouth and hit someone in the head. So.
Where are some of the places you've traveled to in either in suit or as a martial artist?
Man, I was able to travel everywhere. I was thinking about that the other day with Power Rangers. I mean, my schedule's pretty packed even with cons now. I got Amarillo this month, Colorado this month, New York this month, and then Monterrey, Mexico next month, and then Puerto Rico that month, and then Tennessee again, I think in June or something. I'm not too sure, but June 16th, 17th, some con here. And then I have a Power Ranger training camp at my school, my new school in Pearland. But I was able to, I haven't traveled, I mean, I was thinking about that the other day. I should have kept track, I didn't really keep track. We were on planes to planes and jumping off the, I mean, when the first Power Ranger movie went into tour, they picked one person from the show, so they picked me. Everybody was all mad, because they picked me to tour. I think they went to New York, and I went to Israel, Paris, Germany, all around. So I was able to travel a lot through the Power Rangers. And then through the martial arts, I went on tour for a company called EFC, which I did martial arts seminars. But what I've done on tour is I probably did 80 to 100 schools. Really hard, 3 classes, signing autographs back to back. And I was just jinxing myself because I told someone the other day I did tour for 12 days. Then I was really sick in the middle of it. And all of a sudden the show goes on. And I don't know if I caught something on the airplane, but the show goes on. But that's why today I probably tell people about pictures and probably, he's a jerk. I just don't want to get him sick or something. Some people might be like, yeah, dude, I got sick by the Green Ranger, but all right, open your mouth, dude. Yeah. But, you know, was able to travel a lot, though. So the EFC, we were like every state. I'm trying to think where I haven't been, but it's hard. I should have kept track, you know, but being young and traveling, you just, you know, you're going from one thing to another, and it's just, I was fortunate to travel so much, though. A lot of people have never traveled all that much. I was fortunate, but it was always work. I don't really remember, you know, like, I haven't seen anything in Tennessee right now. So people are like, how you enjoying it? I've just been here. Haven't got a chance to see much of Tennessee yet. You know, me and Shayla went out to eat last night, but that was quick, and, you know, so, but that's my daughter. She travels. This is her first convention. So she's not really into the stuff, but then she saw ICP, someone dressed up like ICP, and she's like, oh my God, oh my God. You know, it's funny because, like, I tell her sometimes, you know, people are so nervous that, you know, they shake when they take pictures, and, you know, I get like that when she's like, now that she's all shaking taking ICP's picture, and it's not even really him. So that was about her highlight of the, scared me to death. She's like, oh my God, ICP. I'm like, what? I see who? But it's a serious thing, I guess, ICP. Very serious. But, yeah, I was able to travel a lot of different places. So, unfortunately, I'm really bummed out today, though, because, you know, Tammy and my little girl were supposed to come here, and so I didn't get a chance to spend Easter with my little girl. It's like a first Easter away from her, you know. But she was supposed to come, and I asked her, and she's like, Daddy, I'm just going to stay with Mommy. I'm sorry. I just want to color eggs, so I got sold out for Easter eggs. So, it doesn't really feel like Easter, though, you know. But anyway, she's at home, probably Easter egg hunting right now. Shayla's really looking forward to Easter egg hunt. Yeah. I told her someone set up. I said, oh, my dad set up an Easter egg hunt. She's like, she's 17 now, so she's too cool. So what do you mean Easter egg? I said, you're going to go outside to the con and look for eggs. She's like, I was like, yes, you have to. So.
You filmed the at least portion of the Turbo movie in Tennessee, is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you know where that was?
Shoot, man, I don't even remember. It was some water and rapids and some really nice place in Tennessee. I was surprised, you know. We're supposed to go to Hawaii or something like that, and then saw the script. It was like Tennessee. You know, and on the show, we filmed at like a park, you know, and the park we filmed at was called Castaic Park, and it was freaking everything. You know, so when I first read the script, I was young. It says, oh, Power Rangers in Hawaii. I'm like, oh, dude, Power Rangers here, snowboard. Oh, they just decorated it all. So it was like, we read it, it was like Castaic. But we learned how to film cheap things and not know the difference, you know. Like, we always used to film one way, and then the actors was just turn it around, and maybe we're shooting you here. And the turnaround, they don't want to turn around, so they'll just adjust me here. And it looks different, and they're like, don't worry, you'll never notice. I've learned so many camera cheats that just when you look, you just notice, and you just don't notice at all. So I learned a lot how to direct from those guys, you know, so, and how to be cheap. But I have my schools. I'm not cheap with my guys. I take care of my guys. I share profits with them, you know. I think it's important, you know. And I was telling the other class yesterday, not to confuse me with the other Rangers. I was doing a panel with everybody. You know, when the other Rangers came, they didn't get paid that much. I was really well taken care of on the show. So I don't want to put myself like, oh, I got ripped off with Saban. Really took care of me. Not as much as we should have, like millions and millions of dollars, but I didn't make millions from Power Rangers. People are going to ask that. The actors that were hired completely got ripped off. But that ain't me. You know, I mean, they came and they really ripped them off, and I was on you know, I was there from the beginning, so I learned how to make more money without putting the pressure on them. You know, like I did a mall appearance in Florida, me and Amy, and I didn't really like it because we were working. It was the weekends. You have a cough too, so I feel like doing a lunch here. And so we were working in Florida, and then I went to Saban, and I was like, man, I did this appearance. $10 grand, man. It was really awesome. He's like, oh, so are you going to do more of them? I'm like, yeah, probably. You know, every weekend is good money. I hate it. I didn't want to do it. He's like, well, I'll pay you not to do them. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just really want to reach out to everybody. He's like, well, he wanted to control, very control freak. So he ended up paying me lots of money not to do appearances. And then even through hiatus and all that stuff, me and Amy, Joe, and Dave Yost were on what's called Favorite Nation. So whatever I got, they got. So we were filming the Power Ranger movie, and the contract was up, and I was ready to leave. And I wasn't being, an arrogant actor. I was just like, hey, cool, the contract's up. They're like, well, we're not done because they wasted months filming that movie. New Delcia. We filmed scenes with Delcia. I want to say her name was James Mansfield. Does that sound correct? The first Delcia in the movie. Does anybody know?
I don't remember.
It sounds familiar.
James Mansfield's daughter, maybe? It was one of she was pretty popular. We filmed her as Dulcia. Well, the first Dulcia we had, she... contagious. No, I'm just kidding. She worked the first one, then we fired her. Then we rehired someone, James Mansfield's daughter, I believe. We had her, and we filmed, then we fired her. Then we went back to the original Dulcia. Keep in mind how expensive movies are. You know what I mean? They're very expensive to work. Then we filmed scenes without a visor. Then we went back and filmed scenes with visors. It was because they didn't have the lingo like Starbucks. You go to Starbucks, and I can't even speak Starbucks language. They didn't understand the Power Ranger language and the Power Ranger tricks. So we filmed so long. So my contract was up, and I was like, all right, guys, see you later. They're like, you can't leave. So I went in there and got us like another couple $100,000. Dave and Amy are like, thank you, because whatever I got, they got. They're like, you go. They always sent me in there. You go talk to them because Savant's very like the fire years. My character was really popular, and I never really it was a job. It was really, it was a great job for me. So a lot of people are like, how do you feel? Do you regret that? I was a young kid, making anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000 a month. I mean, what more do you really want? I was doing good, plus a lot of other stuff I was doing, and it was just fun for me. And the job was just an acting job. And the show goes on, no matter how you feel. Like I said today, I was like probably in bed before I got here. And, told Shayla I'm a hard worker and I'm professional, and black belts don't get sick. I train all my guys. I can't because I'm higher rank. But, and plus I'm older, but they can't. Because I was younger, my instructor never let me get sick. You couldn't say sick. You say, I think something's trying to get a hold of me, sir. It's like, okay, well, you going to be there tomorrow for the 3 o'clock class? Yes. He didn't care about getting the other kids sick because the kids always got us sick. So his thing was like payback for the little kids. I mean, so... Anyway, does that answer the question? That's kind of long answer, but
What brought you to come back to Power Rangers to work on Dino Thunder?
So I was, had karate schools, did, really well on that. Started a clothing line. Was living in California. Met her mom that lived in Houston. Decided to open schools in Houston, but stayed in California. Then they called me. Was I living in Houston? No, California. Yeah. So, stayed in California just for my little girl to be born in Madonna's Hospital in Beverly Hills, even though it was an hour away. And when Tammy was going through contraction, I had to drive her to the hospital because she loves Madonna, hour away. But got a call from Saban. Knew it was in Disney's hands, so, I didn't really want to deal with Saban and stuff like that. I had no problems with them. It's just, we had a bit of a fallout. And went to Disney, and Doug and Ann, they were really my good friends. Doug was my first acting coach. Then he started writing on the show. Then he was my first acting coach. Didn't know much about the show, came in, started writing it, produced the show, ended up being the boss at Disney with Ann Knapp. See, me and Ann and Doug, they always took care of me. They wanted to start a TV series with me. I did the pilot that I'm going to put on YouTube called Sirens. And that was with the group called Wild Orchid. And that was my hump. Stacy was Fergie. So she was in there. And then that didn't go through. And then we sold something. Doug and Ann brought me to Universal. We sold a show called Trip Hansen. The companies put you on. They pay you a lot of money to put you on hold. But then nothing went with that. So they always took care of me. So their job was kind of in jeopardy to bring the ratings up. So they asked me to do a favor. And, of course, I went to Disney and, interviewed. And it wasn't about the money because I was making good money, but I just had to jump through hoops. And then he said, well, Gary, I think his name is, said, we're going to have to audition for the role. I was like, really? Audition for Tommy? Okay, cool. All right, well, looks like I'm out, One of those things. All right, well, you don't need to audition. I was like, no, I shouldn't audition. Tommy was the role I created. What do you want me to audition for? So kind of jumped through little hoops there. and asked me about all the stuff I did on the show. Like we did crazy stuff. I was 31 at the time, and of course I looked at him and said, "Hey," he was really old. I said, "So you were around Woodstock days, huh?" And he's like, "So what did you do in Woodstock days?" He's just didn't answer me. My point was, when you're young, you do dumb things. Now, I wasn't doing drugs. It's just, if you guys know, I'm sure he was in Woodstock smoking weed. All right, and so we kind of had a little bit of that, and then just closed the deal. And I ended up going to New Zealand and filming over there and helping the ratings out. I had a lot of fun over there at Dino Thunder. It was, all the guys were really excited to work with me. It was like some big star coming to a set, which was weird because Tommy, get to work with him after all these years. It was pretty funny. And these guys were young. Emma, Kevin, they were all under 20, so they all grew up watching the show. So it was pretty interesting. They were a Power Ranger with me, so they were excited. And then that was New Zealand. Then I put, Shayla went to the restroom, we eating at a restaurant, and put lots of salt on her bread, on the butter, and she came back out, and we took a picture, took my camera ready, she ate the bread, and she was like, and then boom, took the picture, and that was that. So, lots of little pranks off set, too. So, but yeah, it was fun. That's the reason why I went back to Dino Thunder.
Since we're here at MTAC Omega, the whole end of the world theme, if the world were to end in 2012, how would you celebrate the end of the world?
Hopefully with Jesus, dude. I mean, we don't want to be stuck on Earth, that's for sure. But I would like to celebrate with my family. I mean, I don't, see my kids all that often in California. I'd like us to all be together like we used to be, and celebrate, celebrate the end of the world and wait for the rapture to come and get taken. Like my brother used to tell me that all the time, scare the heck out of me. Don't talk about it. He always used to scare me with his Budweiser. Let me tell you what's going to happen over here. That rapture. I was like, seriously, don't talk about it. I was scared, but he used to tell me. So,
do you feel that when you first got started in MMA fighting that, that you were like a Power Ranger? Did that, like, people hold that against you or maybe underestimate you?
Yeah, sure. But like I tell everybody, I knew what I could do, and they're in a lose-lose situation, because if I win, they lose and got beat up by the Green Ranger. If they win, they beat up the Green Ranger, everyone's going to hate them, so it's like lose for you. But, yeah, there's a lot of people out there just wanting to grab the name and wanting to say I beat up Power Ranger, but a lot of guys out there that are, like, really excited to fight, like I was telling someone, they said, who would you like to fight? And, probably get beat up by Anderson Silva, but he's my idol. Now I know what people mean by my idol. I like to fight you. I just take that wrong. Like, oh, you're challenging me? You think you beat me up, but it's just I guess people just get excited about that. I'll be honored to be in the ring, and it's the job. You gotta go in there and smash faces, and it's the job. Got a lot of things booked this year. Just dropped my weight down from heavyweight to see if I can get to 185. So if I take a 185, had an HT net fight on the 17th, but then that's when the other contracts are for Morphicon, so it's really lots of stuff conflicts, I work Monday through Thursday, and sometimes I'll do conventions here, so my head's just really like all over the place. It's hard not to, focus on certain things. Hey, does he look like Kyle Great? That's right here. He looks like Kyle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does. The turd burglar. You can watch it. I call him turd burglar because I was in my car and I was in a bad mood. He's like, "Hey, turd burglar." I was like, "What?" So now I call him turd burglar. He's a wrestling guy in my school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a wrestling guy. It's not a bad thing.
Oh, I was like, I don't know if I should be offended by that or not.
No, it's not a bad thing. He's one of my friends.
Did you ever find out that Tommy has taken over your personality because you've been the character for so long?
No, I think JDF made Tommy. It's just a clean version of Tommy. I just really tried to be myself. To be honest with you, without the cheesy lines here and there. I had someone at the VIP dinner last night say, "Man, I'm so glad to meet you. You just what do you say? Something about that you're like what he is, or something like that." But really, I created the show. I created me because my hair was long. I cut it. Started the show, grew my hair back long again because that's who I was before I started the show. So I don't think it was what I did; it was who I am that started Tommy on the show. Besides the little cheesy lines that might be with little cuss words here and there now. But other than that, though, I think the character had heart. He did care about people, like I care about people. He was funny sometimes, as funny as the writers could be. And, I think that he had, like, charisma. He obviously was nice to other people. He was charming to other people, especially the girls, Amy and, Catherine. And it made me like a hoe, but it's all right. And I just think that, overall, like, sincere. I try to bring sincere. And I try to do business like sincere. Like, I don't think that we need to rip anybody off in business, And I learned a lot from Saban. At least with my guys, I try to give them compliments because I know a compliment and a pat on the back goes a lot further than just paying you and not paying attention to you. So people will be willing to work with you more, like my team and my staff. And, they're willing to work with you more because it's always like, good job, I'm proud of you. I can't do this without you, even though I can, but still, So she teaches for me. So she listens to all my secrets. But it's one of those things. And Saban was always like, I can do this without you, which he is now. I already knew it. He's doing Power Rangers again, no problem. But I think he hurt everyone else, all the fans that were diehard fans, just to fire everybody. And, he easily could have maintained everybody. He told me when I quit, he's going to fire everyone, so you make that decision. And, I went to everyone's room and was like, I don't know, man. I'm leaving the show, so I don't know what's going to happen to your characters. And pretty much that's what happened. So, of course, they didn't want to leave, and, I wanted to leave just because I wanted to, like, prove a point, not to him or anyone, but to myself. I didn't want to sell out like that. I don't feel like I'm a sellout, And it was just that right time to leave, and, so we were going to get cut anyway. They cut David for looking too old and put him in the command center, and, whatever reasons why they cut him. I know there's stuff on TMZ and all that for the other stuff, but whatever reasons they cut him for, they cut him and stuck him around the command center, and I just didn't want to be on Power Rangers and not be a Ranger, So that's what it's called, Power Rangers. So.
What do you think about the older fans, like when you go to Power Morphin Con? I've been a few times. What do you think about how the show has had such staying power into those of us that are into our late 20s, early 30s?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that it's pretty cool because a lot of people are excited. They're like, man, out of everybody, I would love to meet you. That's just because you guys grew up watching us, and they're like, we're kid heroes. They're like, and now you're growing up and you might have kids yourself, or you're actually able to, talk, have your own money to spend, and make your own decisions and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. A lot of people, grew up watching it, and I think they're happy, to meet. I've met a lot of my childhood stars, that I just wasn't too impressed by. So I just prefer not to meet anybody, because I just don't know what's going to happen with that image. You love someone for so many years and you respect them, and then you meet them and you're just like, it's out the door, So I try not to, regardless sick, down, bad mood, because we all go through stuff. I try never to leave that impression with someone because I know how that hurts people, And like I told last night in class, there's, maybe tons of actors might hurt someone, but they go through a lot of stuff too, and maybe it was just you happen to have that luck where they were just in a bad mood. I don't want to be that. I don't want to have that one and have a problem with them, So, and then there's a whole other side of acting that I don't think people see. They just see the glamour, the fans, but then there's a whole other side that was hard to be a Power Ranger. It was about dying kids that you can't meet their needs. It was about going to a children's hospital, having your helmets off, crying around the corner because kids are dying. You go into a room, hey, buddy, how you doing? I'm dying, Tommy. No, you're not. Nurse is like, yes, it was just it's easy to try to build that wall to be like, oh, my gosh, Saban won't let me go here. Kid's dying wish is to see me. How does that feel? Now you can't fulfill that need. And then there's another side of it, meeting the fans and making some happy. So you got to balance that out a little bit. But I think as a kid, growing up, it was really hard to balance that because all I looked at was I can't fulfill this obligation. Oklahoma bombing. Kids were like, how come you didn't save us? And then the Saban's like, you need to tell people we're not real, dude, because it's getting to the point right now. You want us to interview in Tommy. You want us to interview in character. Too many things happening in the world right now that you're misleading these kids. They're wondering why we didn't save this person, why we didn't do that. Mom's writing to Jason Frank, to Tommy, why didn't you see my kid? He died. That was his last wish. what's the story? So when you take on that responsibility, it hits you. I don't care who you are, it really does. And you either start building a wall, or you start kind of freaking out, or you start diving in and helping. I've been on Make-A-Wish foundations, and but Mom was too busy filming. We had a job to do. The show must go on. Can't fly somewhere to see someone. The only time they would is when it would be pressured. You know, if it's going to come out in the media, if it's going to make us look bad, that's when we can't go fly out. And I just thought that was wrong. But it was hard, you know. I mean, I don't think anyone in here can really understand that or feel. How do you feel if someone's your last wish, a kid's last wish was to see you, and unfortunately you have to work, you know, and the kid dies, passes away. It's pretty hard. So, but at the same time, I had to look at it as I can't be there everywhere. There's a lot of other fans that depend on me and stuff like that. I don't have those, and the weirdest thing is I don't have those requests anymore. I'm free, and I just don't have those requests anymore. It was just all part of the show. It was that phenomenon of just the show was pumped and it was hyped, and that's the wishes. So now it's like, where's those wishes, you know? And I'm kind of glad, because I don't want to see people last wish to see me and all that stuff, but I definitely would, though. I try to make a point to someone on Facebook. It has a problem with something, you know, I'll post it maybe late at night, you know. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to donate yet because I'm posting it at 2 in the morning and I'm so busy. Then they say something to me, and it goes back. It seems like every time I try to help, you always get that one in the crowd that's going to be like smart button that's got to like make those comments, you know what I mean? But I try to do what I can. I don't care about that one in the crowd. I care about, you know, the thousands. So we all have haters, trust me, you know.
So you attend a lot of conventions. What's your favorite part of the convention experience, or do you have a particular experience that sticks in your mind in a positive way?
I like, I like signing and all that stuff, but I really like doing the Power Ranger panels. You know, I like when people ask questions more than what's your favorite color, because it was green. But sometimes people really want to know how things were as a kid, you know? Like when I was a kid, I always wondered this, always wondered that, maybe trick photography and all that stuff. So I kind of like the panels, you know, because I think we're open, honest, and it's fun when there's a whole bunch of us, you know, because then we have stories and they try to tell on me, which is not true, maybe. So it's pretty fun. But that's kind of what I've experienced at conventions, you know. And I didn't start conventions until like maybe 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago at AFO in Florida. That was my first one, because I just didn't know how it was going to go. You know, I didn't know what people were going to ask and, you know, all that stuff. But I'm glad I did, though. I was able to go to different states, meet people. Definitely my fan page is getting a lot. I only have one, Jason and Frank official fan page on Facebook, so that's getting a lot of, you know, I think we're like 56,000 fans somewhere in there. So definitely seeing the numbers go up and, you know, collecting more fans and all that stuff.
What was that like, your first convention? Did that totally blow your mind, or
well,
how'd it go?
It was good, because a lot of people that I meet are like, you know, some of the Power Ranger fans, but then there's a lot of stuff I don't know, like your character. And, you know, I watch a lot of the, and I don't even watch a lot of TV. You know, I probably see a lot of even singers that I probably don't know. You know, I'm just in this side, so I'm kind of busy with stuff, so I don't know. But it used to throw me out because they're like, "Do you know this character?" And I'm like, "No, sorry." But yeah, it's definitely interesting. You know, everybody has their own things to get away from stuff. I like skydiving. Everybody's in their own zone. You guys like conventions and cons, and everybody needs a hobby just to get away from life for a little bit. You know, life's too short, and you gotta do what you enjoy and all that stuff. And you guys definitely enjoy the cons and all that stuff. And you know, I enjoy being here and, you know, reaching out to people and meeting new people and stuff like that.
What's been the the weirdest thing to happen to you at a convention so far?
I really can't think of anything. Not at conventions. I don't know any weird things.
What about a weird fan experience?
Yeah.
Just in general?
Well, I used to get letters, like weird letters, you know, from fans. And then some girl sent me like chocolate chip cookies and a tampon in it. You asked for it. And yeah, that was pretty weird. I didn't understand that. I thought maybe it was to keep the cookies fresh or something. So I found out really what it was. But And then, you know, Amy used to get weird calls on the set. You know, people from jail, I used to set her up and let her talk to them and stuff. So, but yeah, that's about the weirdest thing I ever got from a fan. That, and then when I was in Tennessee, when I was here, some girl, me and Catherine were filming, and I was chewing gum. Some girl wanted my gum. I was like, "You sure?" She's like, "Yes." So I spit it out in her hand, and then she's like, "Cool." And then I drank my water bottle. She's like, "Have your water bottle?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she stripped me of my gum and my water within like 2 minutes. So I was like, "Yeah." But, you know, it is what it is. The gum didn't have taste in it anyway.
Those are definitely some pretty weird experiences.
Yeah.
Any favorite stories from your time on Power Rangers?
I got a lot of them. Just mostly pranks, though. You know, I don't really have like a favorite one though. Not really too. I was always a prankster on the set. I was always doing a lot of stuff. You know, give Dave that peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a big fly in it. He ate it, and but I wasn't trying to be mean. I was like, you know, I had the sandwich in my hand. Like, you know, like this. And if I walk for like, you know, half a mile, don't eat it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to walk half a mile with the sandwich. So I like walked all, you know, like this. And then I was like, "Hey, man, I made you a sandwich." Just like that, like suspiciously. And he's like, oh, thanks, dude. And then I was like, "You're welcome." I didn't want to tell him there was a fly in it, and he ate it. And I walked back and I was like, "Oh, dude." And I was like, "I'm going to tell him." I said, "No, don't tell him, dude." I was being nice. Then they finally told him.